The following is a presentation on One Life under the East Perth Football Club Royals and for the Cardinals at Mount Hawthorn Junior Football Club. What it's trying to do is increase the exposure of One Life across junior football. So let's start talking about your brain. Your brain is a really important part of your body. It controls everything that your body does, how you kick a football, how you mark a football, running, talking, everything comes through the brain. But in a younger person, the brain is still developing. You might say it's still under construction. And one area that is still being developed in a young person is an area that we call risk and reward. Risk and reward in younger people is still developing, whereas in older people, they will make an assessment about risk when they do things. Let's just work through a simple example to explain that a bit further. Let's say it's nice and hot down in Perth, and you decide you want to go and meet some mates down at the beach. So you tell your mum and dad, I'm going to go down the beach, see some friends. Your parent will start thinking about what would happen down at the beach. So they start to say, well, you better wear that silly pink hat, and you better swim between the flags, and you're going to need lots and lots of sunscreen. So that's what they're thinking. But what are you thinking? You're thinking those big waves that you're going to catch. And there's going to be plenty of sun. And you're going to see lots of mates down at the beach. So your parents are thinking about what we call risk. These are the events that may cause you harm when you do something. And what you're thinking of is reward. You're thinking about all the good things that can happen down at the beach. So from the same event, two different people are thinking about it in a very different way. One risk and one reward. Now let's look at the next 5 years in your life. If you're somewhere between 13 and 16, the next 5 years are pretty important because a lot of things can happen in those 5 years. What we try and do is mention a few of them here. But many things can happen to you. You might get a job and lose a job. You might leave school. You might get a job and keep it. You could start drinking alcohol. You might lose one of the grand finals. You might have a girlfriend and lose that girlfriend. You might get offered drugs. You might have a car accident because you've started driving. You might fail university. There are lots of things that will happen over the next 5 years. And some of these things are really good. But some of them are not so good. And some of them will have an impact on how you feel about yourself. So let's now put those two together. We know that in young people, their brain is still developing. Sort of a construction site that's not finished. And we know that a lot of things will happen between the ages from 13 through to, let's say, about 20. But when you put those together, sometimes maybe you can't cope what's happened. And you'll get quite stressed about it. And you'll find your mood will change. You can't sleep. And you really don't know what to do. You're a little bit emotional about it. And you start to make impulsive decisions. And you're very anxious. Collectively, these are known as your mental health. But there are two paths that you can take. If you're unable to cope with the situation, I guess you can do nothing. But you can also do something. So let's explore both of those separately. Let's say you choose to do nothing. Well, the issue probably won't go away if you do nothing. And in some cases, it may actually be that you're making your situation worse. Whatever the issue is, it is likely to have happened to someone else, and maybe someone that you know, and they can offer you some help. And you may be feeling overly concerned about an issue that can be easily resolved. But if you do something, you may find that talking to someone that you trust can really help the situation. And often it is best that you just talk to your parents about what has happened, because they will have your best interests at heart. Talking about something is the first big step to getting something resolved, and your family and friends want to see you happy and enjoying life. But if you can't talk to your parents for a particular reason, or your guardian, your football coach is available. These may be people that you've known for many years and that you have built up some trust. They've taken you from Auskick, maybe through to where you're playing right now. And they want to see you successful both on and off the field. Unfortunately, particularly in males, they are poor at talking about their problems. So, what does it mean to be at our club, the Cardinals? Well, we would like to think that we're an inclusive club and that we welcome everyone. But we want to provide you with a safe, supportive and positive environment for you to enjoy your football and enjoy the people around you. So when you come to our club, be positive. We have our values of teamwork, respect and participation. What it means is we all band together. We also believe that a positive experience at the Cardinals and within the East Perth Football Club will mean that you learn more than just how to kick a football, but you will learn things that will help you later in life. But it may not be that you need help, but you may know someone who does need help. And there are 4 simple steps for you to follow. All you have to do is ask, "Are you okay, mate?" And sometimes you may get a response, and sometimes you won't. But if you do get a response, just listen and don't make any judgments. Just listen and be supportive. Encourage that person to talk to their parents, or to talk to a coach, or to talk to someone they trust. Help is available and it does make a difference. And then follow up with them, maybe the next day, or the next time you see them at training. Are you going okay, mate? These 4 simple steps may mean that you put someone back on the right path. So let's summarise the key points. You only have one life, and your brain is still developing as a young person, particularly in the area of risk and reward. Life will present to you some very good events, but over the next 5 years, it may present to you events that are not so good. If you combine a developing brain and a not so good event, it may impact you and it may put you in a poor state of mind. As we've discussed, doing nothing is not really an option. Talking about your problem will allow others to help. Your parents or your guardians have your best interests at heart, so try and talk to them. But if you can't, for whatever reason, your football coach is available, and the club that is around that football coach want to see you successful, both on game day, on the training track, but also off the field. September the 8th is Are You OK Day, and we would like to think that in all of our clubs across the East Perth district, that every day is Are You OK Day, whether that be at game day or at training. So do you need some help, or can you help someone who may need help? And how do we get help? Well, players, every time we play, the numbers are simply there. It's 13, 11, 14. And all the clubs that play under East Perth, we stand together as one, under one life. So if you need help, that's the number, 13, 11, 14. And there are other services available. So players, under the East Perth Football Club, your district cares about you. And at the Cardinals, we care about you too. And you need to understand that your coaches care about you. Players, you only have one life. Make the most of it.